Good evening, folks. Welcome back to I Think It's All Over, your weekly football podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously, as you can tell, because Crippy hasn't even bothered to fucking turn up. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, lads, how are we doing? Those of us
not too bad.
Considering,
yeah. Football aside, yeah.
Football aside, yeah. Crippy will be with us in a minute. He's having some technical difficulties. God knows what's going on. Anyway, gentlemen, contrasting weekend for you two. How are we feeling? Have we recovered?
Go on, Andy.
I'll let you go first, mate.
The worst day I've ever had. That I wouldn't even go down. I absolutely hated it. Felt physically sick for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
like I wanted to get up and get out, but then couldn't, because no matter where I went, it would have still been. I would have been like be able to hear it. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, well, that's going to help.
10 minutes at stoppage time as well. You must have been shitting it when that board went up.
Well, I knew it was coming as well, because when Solanke started to try and pin Pickford like WWE, I was like, oh, please just get up. Everyone was like, oh, take your time. I'm like, no, get up. He's going to be more added on time.
What the fuck was that about anyway? That
I don't know. I have no idea. And then apparently me had bit him, but didn't bite him. So it was just calamity. It was just funny. And then a fan tried to run on the pitch as well and give it the big one to Solanke. Don't know if you've actually seen it or not, but
I haven't seen that, no.
Yeah, a fan tried to run on one in Solanke and Pickford was squaring up, and he just got grabbed by the steward straight away. So yeah.
Oh, football's a mess. How about you, Andy? I mean, you were pretty much resigned to the fact that it was inevitable, but still a shit day, I imagine.
Yeah, totally shit. Like I say, it's Liam went too bad because he had a nice ending, but ours was just it's just shit. We deserve to go down. Do you know what I mean? We've been shit all season. You can't just say it's Allardyce's fault or Grazzi's fault or Marsh's fault. We've just been shit all season, to be fair. Like I sent the stats over to you guys, wasn't it? It was to only to lose 21 games a season and to only get 1 point out of your last 9 games in a relegation battle. Writing's on the wall. So yeah, we knew it was coming, but obviously it still takes it out of you. You just think, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go again. But yeah, hopefully we can bounce back and join you all again soon.
The one thing I will say for Leeds was they didn't give you any false hope, did they? Fucking run in 90 seconds. Like, right, okay, there you go.
Nah. No, we said, didn't we? Said that ironically it'd be us for everybody else to us to beat Tottenham and everybody else to win, but obviously for a long while it was Leicester stopping up until Everton scored. So, but we were 1-0 down with, like say, first 2 minutes. It was funny though because Allardyce played 6 defenders and we let a goal in 90 seconds. So just goes to show how shit we actually are.
Just no fight. So what's next for Leeds then? Obviously, season in the Championship and back, or
I don't know. It's one of them things. If we get everything in order before, well, within the next 2 weeks, we would get a manager and a director of football and see who the owner's going to be to start with. I mean, he's toddling off about buying Sampdoria, and that's fell through again now. And then the latest reports today was he's haggling with 49ers about over the price and this and that. And it's just like, it's going to grumble on and on and on again, and we're going to end up ill-prepared for this season. So it depends. It depends on loads of factors. Whoever we keep, who we get sold, see how we line up and what the team's going to be like for the Championship. Obviously, the most depressing thing is we've got to watch an extra fucking 8 games of that shit if it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
There you go, League One Liam. There we go. That's one of the problems. League One Liam.
It was on about me then. I was like,
I did as well. What are you on about?
No, that's my mate I used to work with, and we always used to say League One Liam for Cooper.
Right. Gotcha.
But yeah, like I say, it all depends on a few things. See who's going to be actually in the side, who stops, who goes. Obviously, we'll have a clearer picture then. But the Championship's just a grueler, isn't it? It's just a slog. So we need to make sure we're well equipped to handle it.
Evening, Kevin. Nice to see you, bud.
Okay.
We've got, obviously, Leeds going down. But how many players are going to stick around? That's the question. I mean,
well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like we've got. It's come out today and yesterday. There's been release clauses on. I think Harrison, Adams, Aronson, a few of them have got 30, 35 million release clauses on them. But whether anyone will pay for them, we need to get rid of the crap. We can't be going into a new season with Ayling and Cooper and that still in there. We need to get rid of them and move it on. Like I've said to you guys in the group chat, I hope we give the kids a go because we've got a good bunch of youngsters there. We've got JB, obviously Gellert to come back. We've got a few decent players out on loan. Like I say, Dan James in the Championship will be pretty decent, even though he is piss poor at his final ball. But we've got some good players there who would be suited for Championship level. To be fair, but yeah, I just hope whoever comes in gives the youngsters a go. I'd rather see them play than some of them who played this season anyway.
It's a Crippy.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Wild Crippy appears.
I'm back, but oh my god! I'll be honest, lads. You're so quiet coming through the headphones, so this might be an absolute disgrace of a podcast on my end. So I do apologise.
They're always the disgrace of a podcast, mate. Don't worry about it. So what we're saying about Leeds, is Jack Harrison English or American? He's English, isn't he?
English, yeah.
It's just the other 10 of them that's American. Fuck, what was I going to say? I don't know. It'll come back to us at some point and it won't make any sense whatsoever. But anyway. Bye, Crippy.
Yeah. See you later, mate.
So what's this? You knew it was going to come up, Liam. What's going on here? Are you the tallest player in fucking the tallest fan in Merseyside? Or?
I don't know. I mean, thing is, me and Lado went with, we had two each, so we set both off before the game, and I was like, I'm gonna save one. And halfway through the game, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm gonna take this home with me as well now. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm gonna take this back home on the train, then go home. I'm just gonna sit there. But no, it was just. Like I said, that last half an hour just felt so sick. The worst thing what annoyed me the most about when the full-time whistle went is because we were watching it in the pub across from the ground because we couldn't get a ticket. It's like gold dust. But like some of them were starting to chant like, we are staying up, and I was just sat there with my head in my hands like, no. This is not it. This is far from it. And I was just like, I need to get out of here. So I did. Just left. I was like, I'm not sitting around listening to these just god awful chants.
Gotta love it.
But the thing is, there was a lot of the same mentality of there was a couple hundred that ran on the pitch for the pitch invasion, but they all started getting booed because we're not celebrating that it's a failure. Like we shouldn't be in this situation again. Yeah. But somehow we are.
I think.
Yeah,
our fans came in for a lot of stick for that. Like going on like, oh, which cup did you win? But at the end of the day, until you've been down there, until you've faced all that shit on the final day, and then to pull out of it and not go down, you've got every right to celebrate like you've just won a cup. As far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I understand like the relief and just the release of emotions and everything, but I'd already said so. The lad I went with, Callum, he was like, "Oh, if we get a ticket, if obviously we win and stuff, would you go on the pitch?" I was like, no. He's like, why? I was like, because again, I'm not. Yes, I'll be happy that we stayed up and it's a relief, but it's not the mentality that we should be having. Like, it's just completely and utterly wrong. Like, we come into the season banking on Calvert-Lewin, who's been injured for the past 12 months, and then he gets injured before Chelsea, and then we play 5-6 games with no striker. Sign Neil Mopai, who's as existent as Crippy is right now. Bloody hell, that was it was just a joke, and then sold Richarlison, didn't replace him. Sold the lesbian in January, didn't replace her, and
Claire.
It's just, do you know what I mean? It's just an absolute clusterfuck. And to go into the last game of the season as well, sorry, with no striker, no fullbacks, like all 5 of our fullbacks injured.
Yeah.
We played Garner at right back, McNeil at left back. No striker. I mean, we did it the hard way. We did it somehow.
It was really a fucking miracle at the end of the day. Kevin wants to know why you've got Plymouth in your name, Andy.
Do I need to explain that? That's who we're going to be playing next season.
I thought so. I thought it was fairly simple, but he just doesn't like Plymouth.
Oh, fair enough. It was just the most shittiest team I could think of, to be fair.
And literally the furthest away.
Yeah. Guarantee that's a Tuesday night.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Without a doubt. Oh man, Crippy, you want to talk about Villa nicking European players? Where's he gone?
Yeah, we'll skip that.
Yeah, we'll not talk about Villa. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't looked at our score predictions from last week. A lot of green on the table here, lads. A lot of green. Andy, ran away with it, my friend.
Can I give them points to us?
Would it make a difference?
2 right there.
You know, 2 greens. Liam, you still did all right considering you totally ducked out of providing a one for Everton.
I mean, I would have gone with an Everton win, but I couldn't say it.
You couldn't bring yourself to it.
I couldn't say it.
I did shite, but it is what it is. And yeah, Crippy did all right, but who cares? He can't even be asked to show up. Dare we look at the final league table? Do we want to look at it?
Yeah, just twist it a bit more. Go on.
There we go. I mean, it was fucking tight, wasn't it?
The thing is, what makes me laugh is, right, if you look at the points difference, say, how bad was Southampton? We were slagging them off, saying how shit there was. We only got fucking 6 points more than them.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrific, isn't it?
It's pretty
Well,
bad.
I mean, I don't want to throw that dagger anymore, but you only won 1 more game than them.
Yeah.
I mean, we only won 2 more, but still.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Have absolutely just ruined us.
Well, I'm loving Chelsea in 12th. That's just brilliant. Tottenham in 8th, class. Well, fair bit. Brighton getting up to 6th as well. And I'm chuffed with 4th. That'll do me absolutely nicely. What have we got? Another comment. Could be worse. Could be playing Luton in a very small ground of theirs. Excuse me. That's going to be an interesting one next season, isn't it? Luton in the Premier League.
Why? I don't know. What's to do with the ground? What's to do with that away end that no one ever talks about now?
Away end that's never been mentioned or you don't see on TikTok, Twitter, or anywhere.
Well, who do we reckon is going to be the first team to get beat there then? Because it's going to be like a Friday night football. Do you remember like with Brentford when they beat Arsenal at home?
Yeah.
Whoever goes there, no one will want to be the first team to get beat. Because it's got to be horrible, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I think it also depends as well, doesn't it, about their recruitment as well.
Yeah.
Whether they're going to do a Forest or, you know what I mean, bring in just loads of fucking mad PSG players or whatever, just on loan and stuff for the season. You never know, do you? But it's just be funny. Imagine that. Neymar playing at Luton.
Class. I want to know how they're going to get the ground ready in time for the Premier League. They've got to make like 10 million quid's worth of improvements and they've got 3 months to do it. It's going to be like an episode of DIY SOS.
Yeah, getting it nose in with his hammer and nail.
Can't help but feel there's too many draws for Newcastle. Will Chelsea and Spurs not be in Europe next season? No, they will not. I don't know whether it was in our group or in the Evermore group, but someone was asking when next season, is it going to be a big 7 or are Spurs going to be out of the big 6 or are they going to drop this whole fucking big 6 idea completely?
No, it's still going to be the Sky 6 with Newcastle.
So you think Newcastle are just going to take Spurs' place or do you think it's going to take...
No, it'll still be the Sky 6 with Newcastle.
Right.
And then they might throw in Brighton if they still do the same job.
And then Villa, it's just a case of how long until they all start getting the rub of the green with VAR and whatnot. Speaking of, we've got no VAR controversies to look over this week.
I mean,
it's because no one gives a shit.
Penalties. We should have had 2 penalties, most definite.
It's a good point, actually, yeah.
They tried everything they possibly could not to give us a penalty. Absolutely joke.
That shove in the back That was a penalty.
On Cody,
Oh,
2 arms clear in the back.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. I mean, annoyingly, I was the only person that saw it as well in the pub. I was like, you just pushed him in the back. And I was like, because Gray had the shot. And I was like, it's a penalty. Guy was looking at me like, what do you mean it's a penalty? Gray got ahead. I'm like, he got pushed in the back. And they showed again. He's like, oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Like, you sent through about having, was it 3 penalties in a row turned down? And I looked on, Sky's live commentary, and they were adamant that none of them were. And then I watched on Sky's highlights, and I was like, well, that was a clear penalty.
Yeah.
That was like,
I mean, like I said, when Gary Neville says it's penalty, or possible, it's a bit. But then BT Studio, all of them was like, well, that one's a penalty.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the Cody push. It was the one where Gray got his foot in, and then he just had his foot volleyed instead. I mean, I can see why that one potentially might not have been given, but my argument again was, if that's Harry Kane, that's a penalty all day long.
That's the thing. Like, the consistency isn't there.
But more as well. In our game, Bournemouth hadn't had a penalty all season. So I was just waiting for them to go the other end and Solanke getting one. I was like...
Have they not had one?
Not had one penalty.
Wow.
Because Gary O'Neill was complaining after the game saying... Yeah,
top 6+1.
Yeah. Gary O'Neill was complaining after the game saying the referee was poor. I'm like, what game were you watching, mate? I mean, Solanke could have been sent off for just everything he was doing. Adam Smith is just Adam Smith. And honest to God, everyone thinks that they came just and got rolled over, but no, they tried their best to make sure that we went down. I don't know why.
When you wanted Leeds to go down for setting fire to the hot dog carts.
So they didn't try as hard as they did against fucking us.
I still don't get how Solanke wasn't done for just the RKO on fucking.
I don't understand why Pickford was booked. I mean, maybe for when they were doing a little kiss or whatever it was, like, but he's trying to like push his team out and he's just getting pinned. I just don't understand it.
What is your what's off screen?
No, sod this, I'm done. Check 1, 2, Crippy. Check 1, 2.
It's going to sound bad, I know. I do apologize.
That's all right.
Good. Fine. That's fine.
That's perfect.
I'm so very sorry. I'll get a £3 pair. I do apologize, boys. And to our thousands of fans watching, I do apologize to everybody.
It's one of the most bizarre starts to a podcast we've had, but fuck it.
And that door's not shut on either, Crippy. That's sorted out.
Yeah, your door's not shut.
It's not shut, but then there's a coat on it, and I think it looks worse, so I don't know what I'm told what to do with it. Oh, God almighty.
Are you settled, though? Are you settled? And
absolutely not. But I heard Andy obviously spoke about Leeds and Liam spoke about Everton. Have you spoken about Newcastle, Ash?
No, not yet.
Is it time?
We didn't do anything, so...
I'm just waiting silently. Yeah. No, I know it's not. I know. I just wanted to say about Andy. I do feel for Andy because, as you said, there's not been a lot of hope with the last few games they've had. So I do feel for them too. But yeah, it's I did say to Liam that Everton would do it. Wouldn't be pretty, but they'd do it. So there we go. Just putting that out there, Liam.
You did, but I don't know if you ever saying before. I mean, to go in the final game of the season with no striker, no fullbacks, like 5.
You had 6 players out, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. 5 of them were defenders, like
Madness.
Coleman, Mikalenko, Patterson, Vinagre, Godfrey, all injured. Adding Calvert-Lewin.
Just on the on the thing of injuries as well, I do have to say, if we had Sinistera fit and Adams fit all season, I don't think we'd be where we are now. Them two could have dragged us out of the shit on their own.
I mean, I feel like if we had a half-decent striker and Dye should come in a little bit earlier, or even if we got a striker in January, we would have been fine.
Yeah.
It's just, something. I just don't know
What's he
Crippy's
laughing at?
doing.
Just laughing at Crippy, man. Just fucking sit still.
I apologize. I'm haunching. I don't have a seat. I'm on the floor.
Fucking hell.
If you could see from the back, if you could see like a long shot of me, you'd be laughing. It's not great.
Laughing.
It's not great.
Thanks for coming, Kippy. Fucking hell.
God almighty. What a
There's
day.
one thing-
What a day.
There was one thing I was going to say at the weekend. If Everton did fuck it up, it would have been a double kick in the teeth for you, wouldn't it? Having Anthony Gordon score his first goal for us. And you scored a goal.
Did he kiss the badge? Am I right in thinking he kissed the badge?
He did, yeah.
What a bad bell end he is. I mean,
He
even
loves
put
to
on
smoke.
Instagram as well. Well done, Everton. As if like, fuck off.
Yeah, I thought you kind of kiss the badge and then say well done, Everton. Yeah, it's a bit disingenuous.
I mean, he was a cop out anyway. He was a Liverpool fan growing up, so no one's asked.
Well, there you go. Wonder how many players will leave Leicester. Yeah, it's going to be a bad.
Yeah, I think it's going to be bad for them.
I think
Good.
we've got like Perez
They
gone,
got to League One.
Tielemans gone, Madison will be gone, Barnes gone.
Do you think they'll keep Vardy? I think
he
they
might
will.
retire.
Yeah,
I think he
they'll
might
keep
retire
Vardy.
if not.
Although,
I think
would
he'll
he,
get more games in the Championship. I think it'll be actually useful to get them
Would-
back up.
would a lower half Premiership team try and tempt him? Do you reckon he'd go?
Luton.
Nah, he's mad enough to stay at Leicester for the rest of his career. He loves that club. That club saved him. Remember, when he was in the non-league, he had issues with, just his diet, fitness, and drinking. I think he said he just wasn't professional, and that club turned him around. They took a chance on him because they saw he had that raw potential, and obviously him and his wife and the club really helped to get him focused, to get off the energy drinks, that kind of thing, to take his fitness seriously. So I think he'll stay for as long as they want him to.
His
I
wife's
really- I think
anyway, so no one's asked about them.
Rutter played a bit more, and you played with two up top. Things that have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to is it to Rutter, isn't it? It's
Rutter, yeah.
Rutter.
Well, 35 million signed in January and he played about half an hour. But yeah, again, when he came on against Tottenham, last 10, 15 minutes, he was the only one who looked like he was up for it. He looked like he was going to cause them problems. But yeah, I say again, if we'd have played two up top, it might have been different. We've got Bamford there who, fucking hell, man. I don't want to get into it. Yeah, fucking hell.
Saying Tielemans is rubbish. He's a wanderer. I don't know about rubbish, but he's certainly gone off the boil, hasn't he?
But that's literally why Leicester have gone down, isn't it? Because a lot of their top players haven't delivered. Yeah, when that culture creeps in of failure is okay, even good players sometimes can get dragged down with it. But when you play for a club that has high standards that say no, this isn't good enough, then often players can pick themselves up. It's like with Tottenham. I said before, they've got a culture of losing, which is why they don't succeed, and which is why managers don't succeed there as well. They said from Mourinho to say all what he did, even Conte. This isn't just like Tottenham suckers. I know there's legitimately a culture of failure at that club. That
Deep
failure is
problem.
Yeah, it is, and I think that crept in at Leicester weirdly because obviously they were doing so good for that many years, having a good time with it. But you look at the squad they've got, and it's like they've got some stars there. It seemed crazy that team could go down.
It's just it's the mentality. Something is just not right behind the scenes. At least the EPL don't have to put up with Vardy winding up opposition crowds' goals. And you say that, but he might sign for Luton. Good old Luton, who are just gonna, I don't know. It's going to be a tough season for them next year, isn't it? Bless them.
I can't wait. It's going to be like when Blackpool were in the Premier League. I loved every minute of it. I was always rooting for them every week, watching their game.
I was
They
as well, man.
crazy. So
If you look at the Premiership teams for next season, it's the most Championship Premiership ever, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Luton, they are the first team to come from non-league into the Premier League, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
it's speedy time as well. And obviously they've got that player, that Pelling player who's gone from, he's been there all the way.
There's only one team gone the other way. Do you know who that is?
Oh.
What, from the Prem?
From from the Prem out to non-league.
So it was the Prem, not the First Division.
Sure, it was Prem.
Right.
To non-league.
Oldham? We're Oldham now.
Correct.
I was going to say, because
Wow, well played. Well
Just
played.
pulled that out your arse there, didn't you?
Educated, you must have known. Yeah, that's good. Fair play.
It's Crippy saying Leicester got complacent for a period, hence why they went down. I believe
Yeah,
that's what
but
he was
not.
saying.
Yeah, not just the players, the club, because they felt that they could lose some of their players and it'd be okay. I said there was an article about Kasper Schmeichel going. Oh, somebody.
Yeah,
there we go.
there you go, yeah.
You said about it, there we go.
Bang on.
Yeah.
My mate Bash has been talking about that a lot as well. And I was like, I didn't really think Schmeichel was that important, but then as you see back, I thought, well, yeah, they haven't had a keeper that's been that consistent there. Because Schmeichel was legitimately one of the better goalkeepers. He wasn't the best, obviously, but he was a solid, dependable goalkeeper. And he had a really good year, obviously, when they won things. So, yeah, I think they all took their after the ball. They thought that, we can just stand still. We can get away with it this season to save some money. And you can't. You have to always keep building just to stay where you are. You get found out.
Yeah.
So come on then, Crippy, tell us, how did it feel? I know you missed it all on Sunday, but stealing Europe away from Tottenham, that must have felt good.
It felt good. That felt really good. Really good. And we're getting a bit of stick for celebrating the Conference League, but I was like, come on, Villa have been in Europe for so long, and we were down and out before Emery came in, so let us celebrate this.
Relegation candidate.
Got a question on that, though.
Yeah.
So
What's that?
I've seen the video from inside the bus. Obviously, all the fans.
Mm-hmm.
What's this about? Is it Jacob Ramsey?
Yeah, Ramsey. Yeah,
Saying
he's weirdly
like.
Yeah, I don't know if because I'm hoping he's joking, but it didn't seem like it because Conser then said to him,
someone turned around and said, "Yeah, come on, go." Exactly.
Yeah.
What happened? I didn't see this. What had happened?
Go on, Crib.
We were like, obviously, the fans are going mad afterwards because we got into Europe for the first time in ages, and Jacob Ramsey played it down and was like, "Oh, we're celebrating like this for the Conference League," and then Conser came in and was like, "Don't be an idiot," like tried to shut him up about it. And it was recorded on, I don't know what social media it was on, but it was recorded and published. But yeah, foolish. That's an achievement. It is an achievement. They say winning the tournament gets in the Europa League, so it does have importance to it. And also, you are still playing in Europe. Yeah, you can say things like the Nations League with international football sucks because you can technically have friendlies against those nations anyway. But you don't get that with Europe, do you? When doing domestic games, we are going to be traveling in Europe next season. Going around playing other clubs, and we've got something. It's a trophy to aim at. So
that's a winnable competition for Villa.
Yeah, that's what we should be striving towards. That kind of thing. So that was really strange for him to play that down, as if we've got reason to be arrogant. The last few years, we've not been terrible, but we've not won anything, have we? We've been relegated a couple of years ago. So it's like, what can you celebrate then if not this?
It's not as if you were in Champions League spots and fell down and got
exactly.
Yeah, you was right down the bottom
the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's it. Looking at relegation at the start of the first few weeks of the season, and then just rocketed up the table.
Yeah, so if playing in Europe for Villa and maybe a cup run or something isn't what we're striving for, then what is? Well, I said on that thing on the last week pod that's kind of our level. We're always going to be the best of the rest, that kind of team, strive to be the best of the rest, and then try and do something in the cup. But to be in Europe, it was an achievement in itself. The fans are going to enjoy traveling, back and forth, having big games in the week and being part of it like the big clubs are. So that was really weird to think that he hasn't had any experience of that since he's been at the club. He's a young lad in himself. I thought strange that because Villa fans have been dying for Europe for so long.
Let's put it this way: if we get that next season, I'll be buzzing.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's great.
Go some mad places in like Cyprus or Bulgaria. Do you know what I mean?
I'd be happy enough if Newcastle get it next season because it's going to be a fucking tough season.
If you get Europe again, regardless if it's Europa League or Conference, that's amazing.
Exactly. I'm not expecting us to do great shakes next season. Too much going on. I think Villa going down a couple of years ago gave them a lot of good because they pretty much rocketed up the Prem in spite of Gerrard. Let's not talk about Gerrard. Andy's getting fucking...
Yeah, don't talk about fucking Gerrard, no.
Well, on the Villa thing, this is kind of what I said to Liam about Everton, that they pushed their luck, and it almost feels like if they were relegated, it would give them more of a kick up the backside because then the fans would could really get on their case. But right now, the owners can be like, well, we stayed up, we can build for next season. It's like, yeah, but no, this isn't good enough. Like Liam said before, this isn't good enough to leave us the last minute every time. The fans go through hell, watching the game. I could enjoy watching it as a neutral. Liam can't. Yeah, Liam was there and wanted to be part of it. But my God, I feel for you, mate, because
we saw the blood pressure.
yeah, your life is on. Your life's on the line, and it did. I don't know if it helped us or not, but we needed new ownership anyway because we went down because our owner stopped investing. So we just didn't have the money to buy good players. So we tried to get players from the Football League, and it's obvious what happens. You go down and down and down. So until we got new investors in, we didn't turn things around. And I think Liam's been saying that for a long time, that he wants Ken Wright gone and he wants a new structure at the club. And I think that's what Everton need in general, rather than relegation. If relegation has to be the kick up the ass, then so be it. But Villa always needed new ownership. That was our issue, the investment side of things. We just took our off the ball. It's benefited us, but I always felt that we were just struggling because of our owners, like I say, taking away the money, not caring about results on the pitch. And then when you do that in the Premier League, you get found out very quickly.
One thing that after the final whistle, apart from booing the people that ran on the pitch, was sack the board. That was all that was getting chanted. So straight away it was like, right, we stayed up, but this is the reason why we're still here now, so get out.
Yeah.
Straight away it was like, even Carragher said, I've not seen it, but I've heard that he said before the game, no matter what happens, there needs to be resignations tomorrow. The board needs to change. And we've been crying it out for ages now.
There's no excuse for Everton to be failing because they've got a big stadium, big fan base. Players want to join Everton. It's not as if they're I know they're Merseyside and Liverpool, whatever, but Everton are a big club in their own right. They can get good players in. When in the Moyes era, they didn't struggle to get good talent in, and they made the most of what they got. But fans have a legitimate reason to be angry at the board because there's no excuse for Everton to be where they are. They have everything in place to be a giant, and they're not.
Especially with the new stadium. That was the other thing as well. That was the potentially last ever home game of a season at Goodison as well, because the new stadium's supposed to be built potentially for the start, middle of next season, towards the end. But I'd rather finish the season at Goodison and then go into a new stadium. But,
because it's disruptive, isn't it? Yeah.
I do wish people invading the pitch before the final whistle would stop. After the game, end of the season, fine, but not before the final whistle. Well, yeah. Really done it. I mean, just keep off the fucking pitch. It's not rocket science.
We need him to run on the pitch because even with 14 men, we ain't going to fucking win.
Yeah, it's not a protest in your case. They're just trying to help.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Isn't the new stadium for Everton only across the road?
No, that's our old one, the shit stadium, Anfield. The new one's on the docks.
I can't wait.
Is it Bramley Docks or Bramley Docks?
Bramley Moor, yeah.
Bramley Moor, sorry, yeah.
Looks fantastic. So we'll do some end of season awards, gentle fellas.
Let's do it.
Just before we do that, Liam, what's the capacity going to be?
I think it was 55, but potential to upgrade because if safe standing comes in full whack, we can put like a full stand of safe standing.
Yeah.
So one of the stands, I don't know what it's actually called, but the fella that designed it is called like the Blue Wave, like the yellow wall in Dortmund.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like that, but obviously just blue. And it's called a wave because it's on the Mersey. So
they've got to earn that, haven't they? The team has got to be. If you want to try and make that kind of a fortress and whatever, you got to make sure that you're getting the results on the pitch to do that. That's the thing. Fans always get so much grief for like, oh, you got to make the atmosphere good. It's like, yeah, but look what we're watching.
Yeah.
You've got.
That's it. Yeah.
We turn up every
this
week.
Is the thing. We
money.
got beat by City the other week 3-0, and a lot of fans. I mean, I was like, oh, right, that's us done. But the fans in the stadium, instead of like kicking off or anything, they stayed behind and clapped them off the pitch. It's like, you know what? We're going to give you everything we've got. Like, we're behind you. Just pull your finger out and do something.
That's it. It works both ways, doesn't it? You can only applaud when you're giving something to applaud. Like we've been there, our fans have been there clapping, and we all love Leeds, whatever. When we're getting tonked 5, 6, 7-0 or whatever all the time. But if you just keep watching that shit, eventually frustrations start getting boiling over. I mean, when they finished on Sunday and they come clapping, everyone was just singing "Get off the pitch and fuck off home." Yeah. That's all they sang at the end. And it's like you can't sum it up anymore. Just fuck off home.
What would Andy make of the Leeds fan trying to intimidate Hal the other week?
Al should have just knocked him out for a laugh.
Yeah, I think
it's stupid. It's like I said, you're going for somebody there who's just got literally no reason to be able to go out where you've got 3 tossers sat about 50 yards behind him.
Yeah.
Climb up there and chin one of them. Just get him in a headlock, go all out.
Whoa, headlock. Can't.
Touchy subject. To end the season awards, we will kick off with manager of the season. Liam,
Big Sam.
Manager.
1 second, let me get my phone. My manager of the season was Marco Silva.
Despite the fact that Fulham just dropped off a cliff halfway through the season.
They might have, but if you ask a Fulham fan, I think their thing was just stay up.
Yeah.
Not finish in the top half, do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is a good shout, like. Crippy, Unai Emery for you?
It was, yeah. I didn't want to be... I thought we were going to go for different names, so I definitely wanted to go for Emery to sort of state my case why it should be him. And it's obvious, isn't it? When he came, we were in relegation fodder. I think we were 60th in the table, looking awful. He came in, and I think he came in before we signed new players. So he came in I think it was October time, had 3 more months to work with the players and turn things around before we could even bring in some more players. And we didn't even sign that many, just a couple. But the work he's done with players that just didn't look for it under Gerrard, and now it's been fantastic. To go from 16th to 7th is incredible. I know that Brighton have been there all season, Newcastle have been there all season, Arsenal have been there all season, but I do think it does deserve a call out when you drag a team from the mire to rise them up and to stay there, because we just kept going up and up and up, and then we sort of stayed in 11th for a while with Chelsea just above us, but then just went on that mad run of wins, and we've just been now we're legitimately a top 7 team again. So. Yeah, Emery for sure deserves to be in that hat.
He was definitely in the conversation for me. We've got saying De Zerbi. You mentioned Brighton there. Andy, who was yours? Jesse Marsh?
I had 3. Not Jesse Marsh. Fucking hell. I'd rather lip my own arsehole than mention him. I was thinking De Zerbi, Silva, but I went for Emery in the end as well. Just to get that amount of wins he did from when they had that mad thing, did they have the most wins out of anybody in the top half or whatever? So, yeah, Emery for me.
Since he came in, we were on our
form list for ages.
Absolutely ridiculous, yeah. And he turned Ollie Watkins' career around. Watkins couldn't hit a bond or the banjo early on. He looked lower confidence. Then Ings left, and we thought, oh God, Ings leaving really? But Watkins it's clearly worked with him. That it's similar to what Eddie Howe did with a lot of players in Newcastle that had their head down. And then he came in and he turned things around, just clearly man management, So, yeah.
I was going to ask you that, Crip. I read something on Twitter about that, and it said apparently he changed the whole training structure around and everything. Had him in at 7 o'clock in the morning some days, apparently, and proper managed all the players, and they all just love coming into training. I read something about it on Twitter saying how well he'd upped all the spirits.
Well, he's a disciplinarian, and I remember when he joined Arsenal, people thought that was a good move because Arsenal were under Wenger. Arsenal were just like they kind of would coach themselves, wouldn't they? They were good players, but Wenger wasn't that overbearing manager. He would let them express themselves. But then when they were failing and not really having good results on the pitch, the whole point of them bringing in Emery was that he would be a bit more of a micromanager, would work them a bit harder. So at Villa, that's been perfect because he's set a standard from day one coming in, and it's worked so well with players. But his best work has definitely been turning the form around of players that we know we're good, but we're just not doing it for Gerrard. Like John McGinn. Yeah. John McGinn's one. Ashley Young has been just a fantastic role model all season. But Ollie Watkins, he's scored, I think, 15 goals in 30-odd games. Been the striker we've needed. And after selling Ings, he just was on fire. Yeah, like Kevin said.
Yeah.
Kevin saying there, you're worried about players being sold from Villa?
Martinez has been linked with a move away, but I can't see it. I don't. We're not going to lose McGinn to a top 6 team. We're not going to lose Watkins. Douglas Luiz is probably going to be linked with a few clubs because he's a Brazilian midfielder who's good, but I don't see him leaving. He signed a new deal a few months ago. We're not going to lose Mings, so I don't think anyone's going to go, to be honest. I think we're just going to add to what we've got.
Would you cash in on Martinez? I would.
Oh, for sure. If I'm a team like Tottenham or whatever, I'd get Martinez in the flash. If you're getting rid of Lloris, if you're not going to go for a Pickford, then get Martinez. But I think we'll keep him. I do think we'll keep him.
Kev saying it's Eddie Howe for him, of course. But yeah, O'Neill should be in it, definitely. What he's done.
Yeah.
Class.
O'Neill was on my list until Sunday when he was a shithouse. So
yeah, now he can fuck.
And he wanted to relegate us, so no.
No prizes for guessing it. Mine was obviously Eddie Howe. Newcastle overachieved massively this season, and it's been fantastic to watch.
You just don't lose. It's the biggest thing with Newcastle is you don't lose and you don't concede many goals. That's hard to do over a season. It's hard to consistently do that when players get tired and the games come thick and fast. And obviously Eddie Howe was seen as a bit of not a laughing stock, but it was like, really? When Newcastle hired him.
So all that money on for that guy who got sacked at Bournemouth.
Yeah. Because we forgot that Eddie Howe actually was seen as a good coach before that last season at Bournemouth. Everyone loved the way they played football. It's because obviously when you have a good year, people want to pick, don't they? So they looked at the spending and were like, oh yeah, but he's had a lot of money, hasn't spent it well, like Jordan Ibe, Solanke, all that kind of stuff. But he's redeemed himself obviously in Newcastle now and back to the reputation he had the heady days of Bournemouth rather than the bad one.
Exactly. Right, player of the season. Now, obviously, any award that we've got coming up now that involves players, we can't use the same player twice in any category. So, player of the season, Andy, who have you gone for?
Well, I think surely you've all picked the same person. I've gone for that absolute machine at City. I've gone for Haaland.
Yeah, does he count as a player though when he's clearly a fucking cyborg or alien or something?
Yeah, change it to sort of mechanic robot of the season.
Footballer of the season.
Yeah. But to score that many goals, which we knew, I never doubted he'd score. Well, not that many, but I knew he'd score goals in the Premiership. But to score that many and just smash records or whatever was just unbelievable. I know he's playing with world-class players, but
still,
the guy's just an absolute machine, isn't he? Yeah. So yeah, Haaland for me.
Crippy.
Yeah, I know it's boring, but I had to pick the same. You know, it reminded me of when Michu joined Swansea and went on a mad one. It was like, what? But obviously Haaland was well known for his goals. But yeah, he had all the pressure on his shoulders. And then the first couple of games, people were like, oh, this guy's washed. You can't do it in England. And then he just went crazy. It's like, yeah, there we go. To break the Premier League goal scoring record in your first season is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, it's going with Rashford. Interesting one.
He's a Man U fan, though.
Oh, good half a season.
You didn't pick Casemiro. Is he all right?
Kev going with Erling Haaland as well.
Is he saying Erling Haaland or is he just going, eh?
I was thinking Eddie Howe, and he's not playing. Worst manager of the season with Lampard.
Kev, don't get me started on that, mate.
Too many options.
I think Lampard is worse. I legit think Lampard is probably the worst manager of the season.
I think it's probably the worst manager the Premier League's ever seen.
He's come in and done worse. Like, how can you do worse than losing every week? And he somehow has. That's incredible.
It's amazing. Liam, Erling Haaland for you?
Yeah, Haaland.
Erling Haaland for me too. Right then, so young player of the season. Sky went with under 23. We decided to change it to under 21. Obviously, you can't have Haaland because we've just all picked him for player of the season. I changed mine today because I realised that I'd been fucking stupid. I had picked originally Wilfried Gnonto.
Right.
But I remembered Bukayo Saka exists.
Yeah, same. I was worried then that you were going to say Saka was 22. I was like, no, I'm sure.
I had to Google it and check before I changed it. I was like, how have I not picked him straight away? It was fucking stupid. So we've both gone Saka. Yeah. Liam?
Well, I didn't want to go for the obvious, so I went for Moises Caicedo.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, good shout.
Andy?
Again, I had to Google his age, but I went for Martinelli.
Yeah, fair.
Martinelli under 21.
I'm
He's
surprised
21.
he's 21. Why?
Why the fuck? I knew
Hell of a
the
player.
entire side was young, but I didn't realise that. Steve Bruce was worse than Frank Lampard. I'm not sure. Like,
I don't know. Frank Lampard's got goals on his hands. That's all I'm saying.
Steve Bruce was as good as Benitez at Newcastle.
Steve Bruce won a game, did he?
Yeah.
I think he did once. Yeah.
Yeah.
How old's Ollie Watkins?
Mid-20s.
Yeah, he's a bit older, isn't he?
He's got on, yeah.
Signing of the season. Crippy, who have you got for this one? Bear in mind, again, can't have Erling Haaland.
Come to me last. I've forgotten who I had.
All right, I thought it was going to be such a surprise.
No, I've forgotten who I'd have. I might have to quickly go and check.
Andy, who have you got then?
Camera might go off.
Who? Who did you ask then? Right.
Andy?
Do you want me to go first? Do you want me?
Yes, please, mate. That's why I kept saying Andy.
I didn't hear that. It all crackled up when you said who you were talking to.
Apologies.
When I went through this, I just looked through all the other sort of top half sides and just thought, who would I really want in my team if I could pick anybody who signed this season? And I went for Isaac.
Isaac's a good shout. Yeah, definitely a good shout. Yeah. There we go. He's got Casemiro into the mix. I was torn. I could have been Isaac for me, but I went with Sven Botman. He's been an absolute machine in defence. Liam?
So I've got two.
Charlison?
Got two. The reason I got two, I'll tell you the answer. So one was a free transfer, but one was obviously we paid some money for him. So the free transfer was Neto for Bournemouth. Second half season, he's just kept them up, hasn't he? But Forest, Iwoni, his goals.
The striker.
He's pretty much kept them up, didn't he? So
yeah,
single-handedly kept them up, hasn't he?
Those two, for Neto for his saves and striker as well.
Sure. Have you remembered yours?
I was toying on Navas for that as well for signing of the season for Navas, but he's only on loan, isn't he? So I thought, no.
Yeah.
Still could have counted.
Yeah, now you tell me.
Right, Crippy, who, what?
Yeah, Botman I went for.
Botman. Good shout. Holland was stupid not to include Botman in the last World Cup. Yeah, agreed. And then he did get called up and then got food poisoning and still hasn't made his debut. Worst player of the season. Oh, we don't actually have that one as a category.
That's tough though, because the worst player people will pick somebody that's played a lot of games and has been shit. But technically, the worst player of the season is someone like Calvin Phillips, who's
I was just going to say Calvin
3 times, isn't it?
Richarlison.
Richarlison would be a good one.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I'll go Richarlison.
You spend all that money for Richarlison, then you don't play him. Something's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And you finished 8th, and you still don't play him. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Beggars can't be choosers.
But aside from that, who's been especially shit consistently?
You know who I'm going to pick?
No, you can't pick the entire Leeds 11, mate.
I'll literally just pick Bamford just for he's played literally not even half a season. He's the top of the biggest chances missed at 14.
Kev's got the knives out for Tielemans.
Kevin, bloody hell, that's harsh, man. That's harsh.
I thought you were going to like reenact Home Alone then. Kevin!
Right. Biggest surprise of the season. Ta-da! Yeah, this can literally be anything. So, Crippy, what have you gone for?
I struggled with this. I didn't know what to put. So, again, I might just leech off of you boys for this one. I didn't know what to go for because I didn't know whether it was a player that shocked me or the manager. Was it just anything, like a moment that was hilarious?
The biggest
Anything
surprise.
in the entire season, we've just thought, fucking hell.
Well, the Conte rant was on my thing.
There,
Obviously.
That
was amazing.
Having a nice dig at his own fucking club. Fantastic.
Yeah, so it was him and Ronaldo. Obviously, Conte getting himself sacked and Ronaldo getting himself sacked. They're both amazing moments.
Genuinely forgot about Chris Wood. Liam, what was your surprise of the season?
Newcastle.
Ah, pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Because
I'll take
I
that.
didn't expect them. Just didn't sign anyone really, other than Botman and the lesbian in January. Isaac was out injured when you signed him. So do you know what I mean? It was like he was playing with a team that basically finished last season as well.
I'm glad that somebody outside of Newcastle's fucking give us credit for that, because most people are like, look at all the money that's spent though.
I know. But look at the players. Look at the players. So many of them were still there a year and a half ago.
Southampton getting relegated. There's shout. Andy, what was yours?
Well, when we said biggest surprise of the season, I thought we was on about which player was the biggest surprise of the season.
That can be.
Oh, if we're going biggest player surprise, then I'm going to go Erdegaard, because I never rated him until the season. I thought he was all right, but
well, I wrote down two, because the biggest surprise player I went for Matoma, because he just literally come from nowhere.
Yeah.
And then while I was googling odd signings of football, did you actually know that Romeo Beckham has signed for Brentford?
Yeah,
the B team.
I forgot all about it, but
that was my biggest surprise. I was like, hang on a minute, what the fuck?
Chelsea finishing the bottom half of the table despite spending $500 million on
That's
players.
fair.
Chelsea's crap says, and my surprise is exactly what mine is as well.
It feels like they've got away with it, doesn't it, as well, a little bit? Like,
I was expecting someone to say Tottenham haven't won anything.
Yeah, it should be headline grabbing, shouldn't it, that Chelsea have been that bad? But it's because they've been shit for all season. It's like we've just forgotten that Chelsea shouldn't be there as a club, and they spent so much money to do that.
They got that. They took Graham Potter away from Brighton and just
ruined
his career. All these like Jean
left back as well.
Mikhailo Mudryk, all these players that they brought in ruined them. Frank Lampard will never get a job again. They've just fucking destroyed everything they've touched. Good. Quality. Brentford B team. Yeah, it was Brentford.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, though. I literally didn't even know. I must have been asleep that day.
I mean, we know it's a favour, don't we? There's no way he's good enough to be there, but yeah.
God, no. And finally, we've got our favourite game of the season. Andy, let's come to you. Did you manage to have any for Leeds, or did you pick something else?
No, I picked two Leeds games, actually.
Go on.
I went for the Liverpool away 2-1 win last minute.
Good shot.
Because I literally jumped up, ran into the kitchen, and went arse over tit over loads of washing and diving around the kitchen. And the kids were just laughing their heads off at me.
Wilson coming fifth in goal scorer and record of the season. My surprise of the season, despite his biggest injury. Yeah. And the fact that, like, in the middle of the season, he couldn't hit fuck all. Crippy, let's come to you next.
Us beating Man United was amazing, but Newcastle thrashing Tottenham was the best. Jacob Murphy's face, the caliber of goals that went in, outrageous. That was just hilarious watching that.
Newcastle 6, Spurs 1, 5 goals in 20 minutes was crazy. Liam, yours?
And like good goals as well.
Oh, good goals.
So, on a personal, it was Brighton away. Can't even look past that.
Yeah.
But just for the laughs, I don't want to say the team, but 7-0 against United.
Yeah.
Good shout. Yeah. That would have been my second one, but obviously I went 6-1 against Spurs.
You got to.
Those fucking first 20 minutes. And yeah, like you say, Murphy's face. Just genius.
But I think it summed up the golf and class between the two teams, because this is where Newcastle are now, and this is where Tottenham are now. Obviously, 6-1 is still obviously a shock result, but it felt, you deserve this, because this is what's happened to Tottenham. Newcastle are going places now, and Tottenham are just stagnating.
It was a good message to the Premier League. Right, we'll have a look at our teams of the season now. Who wants to go first?
Crippy, because he's been last for everything else.
Right then, Crippy, this is your team of the season. Gone for a nice 4-4-2. I put no rules on this at all, so you could have had the entire City team if you wanted any formation.
Very unbalanced, but I just couldn't leave out De Bruyne and Odegaard and stuff. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, Kane and Haaland up front. That would be fucking deadly, wouldn't it? Saka, Salah, Odegaard, De Bruyne, and then Zinchenko, Aki, Saliba, Trippier, and Pope at the back.
Not too far off mine now.
That back line's almost identical to mine, and one change, I think. Liam, you next? Yes.
Can do. That formation
on here.
Mate.
Kane Haaland again.
So
Rashford,
I brought in Kane because I originally had the Brighton left back, but I thought, I mean, he scored 30 goals. I can't just not have him. Plus, I'm just thinking him near Haaland. If Haaland misses, Kane's not going to miss, is he?
True.
Unless it's a penalty.
Yeah, because like Rashford got 17 goals, Salah got 19, Haaland 36, Kane 30. That's just nuts. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of goals up front there, and Rodri.
The reason I've got my goalkeeper is because I feel like if we had anyone else in goal, we would have been relegated.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that's a good shout. Botman Stones. Stones has had a belter of a season, and no one's really mentioned them.
I had to put in the City defender because I know it's with Premier League, but they're playing in the Champions League, FA Cup. They're going on for a treble, and they're having to play in all these games. And he's playing in midfield as well. Like, he's just different gravy.
Yeah, he is quality. This one was mine. Same backline as Crippy, except I put Botman in instead of Ake. Martinelli, been class this season. Odegaard, De Bruyne, Saka, Isak, and Haaland. Never thought I could have possibly took Martinelli out and put Kane in, but I just wanted to be different. Andy, what's yours? Kane and Haaland up front. Kelsey, please. Oh, you put White in. That's a good shout. And Ramsdale.
Yeah, I was
Arsenal-y at the back.
I was going to put Zinchenko in, and I thought, I can't do that. I've fucking basically got Arsenal's full back line. So I went for Robertson,
Yeah, Liam's favourite player.
You know what's annoyed me there? Not just that he's put him in because he's an arsehole, but those numbers have triggered me so much.
Why?
They've so like a left back with number 2. I mean, Nathan Patterson is our right back and he wears number 3, and it annoys me so much. But come on, get those numbers right.
I didn't even think of changing it, to be fair. I just picked the players and stuck a formation and
go back to my team, and I picked those numbers for those players. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you fucking nerd!
It has to be done.
You won't play football. You won't play football manager.
I'm with Liam. Liam is correct.
I mean, I don't know about De Bruyne at number 4 though. Nothing like that.
I think there was a lot of overlap there, considering there was no consultation that went on.
I'm disgusted that no one put any Leeds players in. You bunch of fuckers.
I'm not gonna lie. I was going to send 2 and put Meslier in goal, Bamford up front, Liam Cooper and Luke Ayling in, and then throw in like a couple of like Rondon as
I had Monto on the bench. You just couldn't see it.
Yeah, we couldn't either.
Why are they in Arsenal colours? Trippier seems to be everyone's big player.
Because I just couldn't bother to. Most people couldn't bother to change the kits, probably.
Yeah, it just defaults to that, and that's like nothing wrong with old-fashioned numbering on player shirts. Yeah, but for a fucking team of the season, come on, it's excessive.
It's got to be
done. Right, I think that's everything covered this week. We've had another one. End of the season, but we'll be back next week, won't we, lads?
Yeah.
Fuck no, yeah, we've got the FA Cup, and so at least we'll have something.
No doubt it'll be summer full of dramas for us all anyway.
Well, that's it. There's going to be plenty of transfer things to talk about, and Everton takeovers, Leeds takeovers, and God knows what else.
Didn't you want to raise the question of the betting for Leeds manager?
Well, we mentioned them earlier on, and it looked like you were about to explode. So.
Crippy didn't know, did he?
No, Crippy didn't know.
No, what's happened?
From 16-1 the betting down to 5-2. Gerrard.
No, they wouldn't.
No.
I know. Please not. No.
No, they wouldn't. They brought Big Sam in.
But also, Graham Potter's 6-1. So that's not too bad.
He's gone to 14 instead.
Who do you want, Andy?
Has he?
Yeah.
If I could just choose one person now, it'd be out of two, and it'd be out of Potter or Rodgers. I think they're the two I trust who would get us up. The
I
people
love
we've been
Rodgers.
we've mentioned with loads of things. I think it's like Lee Bowyer, loads of ones like that. But yeah, Potter or Rodgers for me. I think they'd be the ones who I trust to get the best out of what we've got and maybe bring in some decent players as well. We were just saying before we come on, I read something online today saying that whoever it is going to be given 150 million to spend. So that's a decent amount of money for charity.
I bet it'll be half that in the Championship. It's hard, isn't it? But you'll also spend for sure.
Yeah.
But not with Gerrard. Fucking hell.
But not with Gerrard, no. Please, no.
Fuck that. And on that depressing note, I'm done for the season. But yeah, we'll be back next week and we'll keep coming back until we run out of things to talk about. So yeah, thanks for watching again. Thanks for getting involved in the comments. We shall see you next week live at 8 o'clock on these here YouTubes. Thanks for watching. See you later.